Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
The 0-2. Fastball is turned around. Jordan Luplow, grand slam. Are you kidding me?
One of the most exciting and unpredictable moments of the season and postseason last year, Jordan Luplow, the guy they got to hit right-handed fastballers, comes up in a spot and hits a grand slam, the most Rays thing ever. And, the boys are back. Baseball is back, and we will get game. We'll only miss, season. We got 162 coming. The Rays will probably open it home now.
Yeah, they're going to get home against Boston.
Boston.
No longer going to Fenway Park.
That's
going to be here.
Probably the best idea yesterday. As I said, you know what? They probably should. They probably should do that anyways. Don't start till to May. That would be best for me. So yeah, absolutely. It's a great day in baseball, and you know what? For me, this could be such an exciting season for Rays baseball in so many ways. We could get some clarity on the stadium, which would be fantastic. It could be a great year with this roster that the Rays could possibly put together, or it could be a disastrous year. If they make some trades that don't work out, they don't get the pitching, they have as many injuries as they had last year. No bueno. No bueno. What do you think?
It is definitely exciting for me because I know a lot of people were saying, oh, they're killing baseball. This is doomsday for baseball. I'm never coming back to baseball. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. As am I. I've been very critical myself, but once they ratified it yesterday and the realization is that it was back, it's like I forgot about the last 4 months that went on. I hope we never have to go through that again, but I know it probably will happen because this is what happens with baseball. But Now we look to finally free agency and trades. And we're a month out of the regular season. I'm excited again. I'm excited.
All right, so we'll be getting through the baseball, what this means for the Rays here in just a minute. Our media moguls can join us 11:15 and hit on the entertainment selections for the weekend. The Batman, which you saw yesterday.
Great film.
Man, I haven't been to a movie in a while.
It looked like a lot of people aren't going to movies anymore.
Really?
No. There was about 10 people in the theater last night at 7:40. For a movie that's been out for like not even a week.
You know, I kind of love that because I love going to the movies and I don't like crowds, so that's fine. You know, in other cities, like you got to wait like a week and a half to go see a film. It gets so crowded.
Oh, yeah.
Here you can go on opening night, walk right up and get a ticket, whatever that is. But it happens.
You know what I hate about being in a big movie theater, having all those people who clap in movies. Why are you clapping?
Those are the people that clap when the plane lands.
Yeah.
people.
Same concept. It's like, I don't know how they do this in superhero movies. There's like a big thing that happens. Everybody stands and starts clapping. I'm like, what are you doing? I see it. I see it.
What are they? Stand and clap like during the movie? Like in the middle of the movie? Not at the end? But
I'm telling you.
Like in a scene when a guy, you think he dies, but guess what? He's not dead.
Yes. I swear to you.
And he comes back, people standing there like, oh, who saw that coming? Oh my God, it's amazing.
Avengers Endgame, when Captain America was able to pick up or was able to catch Thor's hammer, which I know you have no idea what I'm talking about. When that moment happened, everybody's like, oh shit. It stands up and I'm like, what are you doing? I see it.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. They can do anything really. It's CGI. Whatever. All right. So we'll get the review on the Batman. You two can go at it. Oh, good. The fire alarm's happening. All right. We were just told about 10 minutes ago that there's going to be a fire alarm drill. So we're going to go ahead and take a break and not subject you to this. And we will be back in a few minutes. And we're going to set up all the different machinations of what's going to happen with the Rays. Will Meadows be traded? Will Kiermaier be traded? All that and more when we come back. Stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal rush coach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald, 813-294-7595, or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. Will close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the rushed approach, you'll be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries Holiday Food Drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do. Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. Folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Welcome back. Wow, that took almost longer than the freaking baseball negotiations. Ugh, sorry about that. But hopefully it's over. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at PalermoPA.com. Well, I was having a little fun while we were indisposed there for a moment, and I saw that my friends over at 620 WWDA. I don't know what was funny. I tweet to you or this one. Freddie Freeman. So I guess Neander went on their show this morning, and by the way, the Rays will give you a lot of preference for guests if you fire other hosts that don't speak well of the owner. So Neander goes on there. I'm trying to find it. What exactly did he said? I got to get the quote exactly right.
I got it right here.
All right, go ahead.
Or I did. Here it is. Yeah. Anybody that has a chance to make this club better, we aren't doing our diligence.
Talk about Freddie Freeman,
if we don't explore that, and that is about Freddie Freeman. Yes.
To which I replied, "What?"
And let's sign Kershaw while we're at it. You wouldn't pay $15 million to hold on to Charlie Morton, and you're going to pay Freddie Freeman $175 million at the very least, guaranteed. Okay. ... You gave me the same tone yesterday.
I did. I was like, yeah, right. You were like, yeah, I can't wait till Freddie Freeman's a Ray. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then Stu's going to cut a check for the stadium, and then monkeys are going to fly out of my ass. Yeah. No, it's not. What are you people talking about? I mean, come on.
Can we dream? Can we dream?
Can dream, but it's stupid. It's still, yeah, I can dream about things I want too.
But
it ain't happening.
I had no optimism for 4 months. Let me at least dream of Freddie Freeman being at first base.
Completely manipulated. I mean, like you think like the Rays are throwing that out. It's like all you people that oh wow, they spent $178 million on Wander Franco. We're spending money now. No, you're not. They're never going to pay any. They're going to pay about $40 million of that contract, maybe, and then they're going to trade him. Come on, as long as Stu's in charge anyway.
Let me have hope.
Stu might not be in charge very long. So there you go. You want some hope? You want some hope? Stop talking about Freddie Freeman and start talking about this judge in Major League Baseball deposing Stu Sternberg.
We have to talk about Freddie Freeman. We have to.
No, we don't.
Yes,
That's ridiculous. Okay, well, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Bucks. Let's do that.
That's so different.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not. Actually, that's more possible than Freddie Freeman signing here.
Please.
You're out of your mind.
Listen.
The Yankees and the Braves are going to pay this guy $280 million guaranteed.
Probably so.
The Rays will never do that.
Listen, I understand.
And if you're using the Wander Franco contract as some type of idea that they're spending money now, you don't understand the Rays or Stu Sternberg. Come on, man. You can't be serious.
I get that, but hear me out. After
Eric Neander, come on my show, and I love Eric. Eric's a super smart guy. I love everybody on the baseball side of I love everybody in the Rays organization except for the owner, actually. That's about it. But they're fantastic, and Neander's done a tremendous job. He's amazing, except he should have kept Charlie Morton. But I know that wasn't your call. That was Stu's call, so I don't blame you for that. But come on my show, and I will laugh you off. Not laugh you. That's rude. I wouldn't do that. But I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire and go, what evidence would any Rays fan have that you would go out and spend a $250 million guaranteed for a guy like Freddie Freeman?
Hear me out.
No
Hear me
effing
out.
way.
This is why I'm talking about it, and we're all dreaming here. I think we're all in on it. We know it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying that after 4 months of negotiations in a lockout, I was watching MLB Network when the news broke, okay? I watched when they went to John Morosi. John Morosi, okay, one of the best in the business. And the first thing they started talking about was Freddie Freeman.
To the Rays.
The first thing he said was even the Rays were in on Freddie Freeman and put an offer in. That was the first thing he said when the lockout was over. I can put an offer in on Freddie Freeman too. It doesn't mean it means anything whatsoever. Except to you delusional fans that think that was a credible offer made to Freddie Freeman, that the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Braves, anybody else isn't going to beat by $50 million. Come on. It's
meaningless.
I'm aware of that.
It's once again Stu playing the fans and sending that.
Fans.
Yes, they are.
Would you rather them just not put any offer in?
I'd rather than put a credible offer in.
Well, we don't know what the offer is. We have no idea.
I know.
We might have an idea, but you don't know. The Rays have a lot of. They don't have much on their books right now. It's probably by design. I get it, but they don't have a lot on their books right now. Throw your name in that. Just throw your name in the hat.
What good is that do? The only thing it's doing is putting a big fishhook in your mouth and any of you fans that think they're serious about this.
I just want to be optimistic. I want to be optimistic.
You're delusional.
I'm not delusional. I didn't say the Rays were on it. John Morosi did. Okay, the other reporter said,
what does that even mean? Like, he should be smarter than that. Come on. My God. I mean, again, I love what the Rays do on the baseball side, but it's the duplicity that he does, Stu, and the organization in general, with the sister city thing, with the St. Pete now is going to be in play, and all the crap that they've done, negotiating in bad faith for a decade now. And all these red herrings they throw out there, Freddie Freeman or this guy or that guy. No, they're not. They're not in on Freddie Freeman.
Even at the deadline.
And by the way, can I say this?
What?
I don't want them to be in on Freddie Freeman. I don't want them to. I don't want to sign Freddie Freeman for $250 million at 8-9 years, where that contract becomes an albatross the last 5 years, like all these contracts do. No, we can't afford to do that. If we do that, if the Rays do that, we'll be the worst team in the league. It'll be Freddie Freeman and nobody else. That's it. Sitting in that lineup. And what good is that going to do you? None whatsoever. No, unless they commit to an actual payroll for a multitude of years, which Stu Sternberg has never done and will never do. It means nothing. It would be a stupid move to go cherry pick one free agent and pay. First of all, there's 9 guys in the lineup. And if you have one guy that can hit and a bunch of slapdicks, they kind of just pitch around him.
Do you think the Rays just have a bunch of slapdicks?
Well, no, but if you spend all your money on that guy, they're going to have a bunch of slapdicks. Yeah, a bunch of
move things around. Come on,
dude. We've wasted what? The fire alarm time and this on Freddie Freeman. Anybody out there that thinks
baseball is back, we got to discuss it.
Well, then let's talk about some credible things.
Hold up.
Let's talk about some credible things.
Hold up. We've been speculating for the past month or so about Tom Brady and the Bucs quarterback. Why are we speculating about things that probably had a less chance of happening? It's the same concept. It's the same concept.
We're
speculating about a retired 44-year-old quarterback. I could speculate about an MVP level player coming to the Rays.
If we went to the Vegas guys right now and said, give me odds on whether Tom Brady comes back and plays football for the Buccaneers, and then give me odds on whether Freddie Freeman signs with the Rays, what do you think those numbers are going to be?
Sounds like a bad beat to me, whatever the numbers are.
I'll give you, I'm pretty good at this, by the way. We do lines. I come pretty close to it. I would say the Brady thing would be about 45-1, maybe 30-1. There's somewhere in that area. The Freddie Freeman thing would be
200-1.
A gazillion. I don't know how many zeros that is, but it would be a gazillion to 1. It's off the board. There's your odds.
I'm just saying, if Freddie Freeman picks between the Yankees and Braves, which is, I would say, 90% going to happen. Okay, I've already seen lingering reports. I'm aware of that. But if the Rays come in third place for Freddie Freeman, that's an upgrade. You got to take steps.
Young man. All I can do is shake my head.
Listen, I got my fan cap on today.
I know you do.
I got my diehard fan cap.
It's clearly constricting the blood flow to your brain. All right, so let's talk about some other things that might happen for the Rays, which is one of the things I think is almost for sure to happen is the trade of Kevin Kiermaier and Austin Meadows. I think both of those guys are going to go. And Austin Meadows, especially because I don't think his value will ever be higher. This is a very Rays thing to do when they see guys that have a good year, but they see holes in his swing and metrics that don't match up with the way they do business. They know they can sell him right now to the highest bidder and get some really good stuff back. And they have Josh Lowe waiting in the wings, who they can probably replace him and his numbers, if not do better. This is a classic Rays move. And it's going to piss off a lot of fans. I know that. But, depending on what they get back, I think it's something that can be very, very beneficial. So that's something that I expect to see happen. And I'm not going to freak out about it. I want to see what they get back, first of all. And then you got Kevin Kiermaier, who's on the books for $12 million this year. I don't think there's
9. Looks like it's 9.
Is
here.
it 9?
I pulled it up.
No.
I got to hear
unless
from,
it went down from last year because he was making like 11 something last year.
I got to hear from Spot Track, which is usually pretty spot on.
That is actual salary or a bonus?
That is average salary.
Oh,
It's
average salary.
Yeah, right around $9 million.
Yeah. So I think his actual payment this year is around 11. Whatever. It's too much for a guy that they feel they can put somebody else in there, Manuel Margot, and get as much production on both sides, offensively and defensively. I don't agree with that. Kiermaier is a much better defensive player. Margot is a much better offensive player. So, there's give and take there. The big thing is they're not going to continue to pay Kiermaier, especially, and also it takes two to trade. If there's somebody that really, really feels like he's a key piece to their puzzle in terms of updating their entire outfield defense, which I think a lot of people understand how important he is in this league, I think there's a definite market for him because most teams, $10, $11 million for a platinum glove center fielder is a good investment. For the Rays, it's probably not at this point. But I'm 50 on whether they trade him or not. I think they can keep him. Again, their payroll is so low right now. They're not. I mean, I haven't looked at it lately, but I'm thinking it's what $65 million right now on the books.
It might be lower.
Yeah,
it's not. There's not a lot of there. I think Wander's coming in at just shy of $17 million for the first year of his contract. Just under 17. That's what it does. I got it pulled up right here.
But that's you're looking at the wrong thing. You're looking at average salary over the contract, and that's not relevant. I think. Let me we'll look at this right now and get all of them. Yeah, and I think
you're right. I got it. Yeah. Kiermaier's to the 12. Kiermaier, he's the 12 million. Franco's the 1.45 for this one.
1.45.
There we go. There we got it.
Again, and this is something. It's one of those things that everybody's like, "Oh, Wander Franco, we spent 187 million." No, you're spending 1.4 this year. I think it goes up to like 2.5 next year. I mean, the next 4 or 5 years, he's not making a whole hell of a lot of money. No. Or I should say the next 2 or 3 years. And of course, this is going to be adjusted. A lot of this is going to be adjusted with the new CBA. That's going to cost the Rays a lot more money, the new CBA. And not for other teams, it's minimal, but for the Rays, it's, significant. Yeah, they got Kiermaier in the books for 12-1, Kluber at 8, Zunino at 7, Glasnow at 6, but that's going away. And that's estimated in arbitration. They're not going to pay him $6 million rehab this year.
Yeah, most of the rosters in arbitration.
And I think they can get a shit ton back for Tyler Glasnow. I think somebody will do that. Manuel Margot, like the Yankees. That's something the Yankees would do. It really is. They'll just stick it to us, or the Dodgers. Manuel Margot at 5, Ryan Yarbrough at 4.6. He's a trade candidate. Brooks Raley at 4.25. That's the guy they got right before the deadline, right?
Yeah, the reliever.
That's a little odd. And then Meadows at $4 million, G-Man at 3.2, Yandy. So the total, you're looking at 74, but active payroll of $70 million and retained salary of $5 million. So $75 million payroll right now. And again, I would expect the automatic charge-offs. I don't think Yarbrough is going to be around. I don't think Glasnow is going to be around. That's $10 million right there. That's $10 million off right now. Meadows 4. So they have a lot of wiggle room here. They're making room for Freddie Freeman.
Why you gonna damp on everybody's parade today? You damp on the parade. We've had enough negative talk about the Rays. God. Okay, well at least you have. You've had a negative talk, and I'm gonna be optimistic.
I got to go back and listen to that interview on the other channel just so I could laugh and if they actually really gave it any credibility whatsoever. Even Neander's answer is like, "Well, yeah, anybody who might improve our team, we got to take a look at."
What do you want him to say?
It's laughable, though. I mean, people think that it's actually happening. It's laughable because this is the way the Rays operate. And by the way, they don't have to. They have plenty of money, which we've established now. He's got $500 million in his new account. Stu does. So he could afford Freddie Freeman. He could, but he ain't doing that. Because that money was well earned. All right. So other things that are definitely on the agenda for the Rays. Mark Topkin's article was pointing these out. Got to get all the players from foreign countries here, obviously. They've got 13 arbitration cases that they've got to figure out. Now, those players aren't going anywhere, but it's just going to kind of determine where their payroll is going to be at. And those guys are going to get more money. than they made last year. So this payroll is going to go up. Well, could go up. I won't say dramatically or significantly because they will do some subtractions with Kiermaier and some others. And he says, analyzing the impact of the deals, the new labor deal will cost them much money for young players and limit some of their usual roster manipulations as players can now be optioned 5 times a season. That's a big thing for the Rays because they use their 40-man roster better and more than anybody in baseball. So they're limiting how many times these guys can come up is going to definitely hamper the way they do business. Arbitration numbers are going to go up. The pool of money and the pool of money for the pre-arb players, the minimum salary players. That's actually, I think that could end up helping the Rays because I don't know where that pool of money comes from. Does the individual club have to pay that? That doesn't make sense because then there wouldn't be a pool of money.
Yeah, that don't make any sense.
It probably everybody probably the revenue sharing or taxes or whatever luxury tax money would probably pay for that. I would think. But I haven't seen the exact details on that. Whatever, those players are going to get paid more when they have big seasons. Like any of these young guys that are on minimum salaries, like Wander last year, probably would have got a nice piece of the bonus pool. And now they've also disincentivized teams from keeping them from coming up because of service time. Yeah. So that's another thing that the Rays are famous for doing. And, like Wander probably should have started the season in the big leagues. So it would have had him for a whole season. So there's a lot of different things happen in the CBA, I think, that are going to impact the Rays have done business, and they've done it very successfully. So now they've got to readjust. They're super smart. They'll figure it out, and I think they'll remain competitive. But this is a key moment. This is a key moment. What do you get for Meadows? What do you get for Tyler Glasnow? What do you get for Kevin Kiermaier? These are huge, huge trades and huge chips that they have now that are going to really, really it's kind of like the Archer when the Archer deal went down. It's like what that deal in and of itself. Now, what does it pay in the second generation? You got Meadows and you got him on the cheap and you got great production out of him for what, 3 years? 3 years? 3 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
Glasnow, same thing. And you got Shane Baz. All 3 of these guys are important pieces. Now, Baz is going to stay. He's young. He's cheap. Glasnow won't do anything for you this year. They're probably going to trade it, but they can get really good stuff for him. So this second generation trade of they're going to turn Chris Archer into, 3 years of Tyler Glasnow, 3 years of Austin Meadows, great production, low money. They have Shane Baz is coming up. So that production you can add to that trade for Chris Archer, who you got back anyway, and decided to pay $6 million. Stupid. But then what's this next generation going to yield you in that one trade? This is how the Rays have done it for years, but it's crucial what you get back. So go do your deal now, Eric, and we'll see what you got. I'm not going to be the one pissing and moaning over losing Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow, unless, of course, you get crap back.
We could find plenty of examples probably of the Rays shipping players off too early. We could. If Austin Meadows becomes the next one of those, I personally am not going to lose sleep over it because we talked about it last.
Like becomes an MVP.
What was that?
If Austin Meadows becomes an MVP,
I'm not banking on him becoming an MVP. He can't hit left-handed pitching
not
at
right
all.
Now.
He almost hit under the 100 last year against lefties.
Not right now. He's
total liability. Yeah. So I'm curious what his market would be because every other team is privy to those stats.
It doesn't seem like they pay attention to it as much as the Rays do. I think people are starting to, but they so many of these GMs I think are dumb.
Yeah,
and they just see a name and our fans will get excited. Hey, Austin Meadows, he was in the All-Star game. Oh, it was really great. And then
and maybe I don't know.
Go, oh, by the way, he can't hit left-hand pitching. It's all right. It looks good in the paper.
Oh, he hits 30 home runs, 230. Everybody's doing that. Let's just take him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and there's that. There's that too.
Goes.
Yeah,
but even too, they did the universal DH. So you got to think that opens up the NL because
great point.
Austin Meadows is not a great fielder. You'd probably rather have him at your DH position, and now you got
increases his value
for a lot of these guys. And in Kevin Kiermaier's world, $12 million for arguably the best defensive player in baseball, and a guy who is that good on the base path, and really I thought was one of the best players the Rays had. One of the only ones they had in the lineup that could actually hit against Boston.
Yeah,
in that series.
True.
He probably
he made a big impact in the postseason.
He made a really big impact.
As much as they could in the short stay.
And I'm not saying the Rays would ever do this, and I'm not advocating for this, but a team like the Yankees or one of these teams that is really slow on the base path. Like that was the thing about the Yankees last year, right?
The plotting.
They're slow. They don't have any guys who can make something happen on the base path. That'd be a perfect situation for somebody like Kevin Kiermaier. I'm not saying the Rays are ever sending him to the Yankees by any means, but there's other teams like that out there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating week for the Rays, week or two, and we could see a lot go down today. And as I said, this is a crucial moment in this franchise's history as to what they're going to get back for some of these chips. It's fun. This is fun.
And who else are we adding? I know we're removed Freddie for the situation. I guess we can go back to Planet Realistic, but who else are we adding? I think we need another free agent pitcher, another veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm under the Zach Greinke train. I'm on the Zach Greinke train. I think you could get him for right around Kluber's price, maybe a little more.
I like that.
He's got some gas left in the tank. Just saw a photo of him the other day. He was on a boat wearing the old Bucks creamsicle hat.
Was he?
I'm just saying he was. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I think he'd fit well in with the locker room as kind of the old Charlie Morton.
Yeah.
That's a guy I would throw at. And then you could have two veterans, and then you can have your Baz, Rasmussen, McClanahan.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, but don't forget about Patino. Who
I think he'll probably be a bullpen piece at this point. He might be the odd man out there, but still, it looks promising then.
Yeah, it does. And when you look at and then look at some of the other pieces, and I think for Meadows and Glasnow, I think you should be able to return starters. Young starters, good young starters in this league. I mean, not just starting pitchers. I mean, starting players, like position players. I mean, look right now. I mean, the guys that you just love out there right now. Obviously, Wander Franco is a guy that's the cornerstone for the next 7 years that we'll keep him. And then you got Randy Arozarena. Let's not forget about the guy who is the rookie of the year and has unbelievable potential. That excites me to see him continue to and to get into a lineup that's going to probably be a little bit more balanced and hopefully have a little less swing and miss. Vidal Brujan is another guy, 24 years old, that I think has a ton of talent that is unexplored. Patino, Rasmussen, I think can get really bad. Taylor Walls, I think, is a tremendous defensive shortstop and really showed some offensive acumen as well, and I think can get better. What's going to go on with Brendan Mckay? He's only 26 years old, but he still has a lot of talent. I think there's a place for him as well.
He kind of, to me, he feels like Brett Honeywell at this point. Brett Honeywell had so many injuries, so many start and stops, and eventually, he's no longer here. Brendan Mckay, I wish it would happen, but I mean, for a third overall pick, it's been very disappointing.
Yep. No, I would agree with that. But still, you never know. I think Josh Fleming, at 26 years old, from the left side, I think he can be a really good chip in the bullpen. Fairbanks has showed really good promise.
Nick Anderson, what has he got left? Because he wasn't great when he got back.
31 years old. I think I'm not counting a whole lot on him.
And that's what I was going to get to my next point. Remember when they were floating around Glasnow and Kiermaier during the deadline? It was Craig Kimbrell who they were trying to go after.
Love to get
and
Kimbrell.
He's a free agent, and the Rays have tried to get him multiple times. So if you're banking on somebody who the Rays might throw good money
really
at.
He's expensive, though.
Yeah, if they're going to throw money at somebody, it might
They're not going to pay a reliever that much money.
They love him, though.
I know, but they're not going to. They feel like they can go get cheap arms, and match up in the bullpen. They always have. They always will. I don't think they'll ever spend big money.
Is Brooks Raley cheap?
$5 million. Yes, at $4.25 million, he's dirt cheap.
That's not dirt cheap based on his career so far.
Well, it's dirt cheap for the rest of baseball. I should say that. But he's one of those guys, that they see something in him with his analytics.
Oh, I told you he's in like the 95th to 100th percentile in like every analytic.
Right.
So I mean, don't be surprised if this guy turns into the next whatever. Fairbanks.
We haven't talked about G-Man. I mean, yes, we love him, but I still think there's more there for him as he continues to learn, American pitching and the American game. I just love what he does for the clubhouse. I love what he does for the fans. And he's a clutch guy. He's a gritty guy, even though he seems like he just seems to come up big in big moments.
Yeah, he's a guy I want there.
Yeah.
I don't want him playing every day first base.
No.
And the Rays don't either. And that's why they're hardcore going after a first baseman, I think, in this market.
Yeah.
And that's why Tommy Pham, they mentioned they kind of want him to come in and play first base.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work. I don't like having to teach new guys first base that the Rays have done with G-Man, Yandy, and if they bring in Tommy Pham, I'd love to have an established first baseman.
Yeah, a really good defensive first baseman, I think, is underrated in this league.
And they tried that with Jake Bauers a few years ago, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So this is where you're left right now.
I think, but there's guys out there. There's a good guys out there that, to me, that's an absolute perfect platoon position, first base. But I'd like to get two guys that can play first base, that are professional first basemen. I think it matters. I really do. And not, it's just kind of the little things, holding runners on, bunt plays, things like that you don't really think about that, but can really make the difference in tight games. You get an experienced first baseman, especially in bunting, squeeze situations, safety squeeze situations, those that, there's a lot of nuance to that. And good guys make great plays in that and save runs.
It sounds like you're describing one Frederick Freeman a little bit.
Yeah, that's the guy. And he can hit too from righties and lefties.
I'm
complete player.
Could you imagine? All 6'6" of him just diving out for ground balls.
Is this where we transition to the Avengers movie? Complete fantasy. Is this where we?
Come on.
Yeah, and Stu's going to come out with all the Avengers, and they're going to throw out the first pitch, and let's see. I think Captain America is going to throw a baseball instead of his shield. It'll be fun. Oh, and Freddie Freeman's going to be starting at first base too. Woo! Imagine, if you will, a world where the Rays actually spend money. Coming in June to a theater near you. Stu the Spender. Now that's pure fantasy. He's got a superpower, It's clutching that wallet. Like, you cannot, Thor's hammer could not get that wallet open. All right. Paul wasn't going to love that little analogy right there. All right. Let's take a break. I compose myself. And we're going to come back and talk about the Lightning. Did you watch the game last night? Well, I think Steven Stamkos said it best. He said it best, and we'll hear it from him. I'm not sure I like what I heard, but we'll hear it from him next. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable. Feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Back, throws it in the corner. Here's Colton. Centering pass. They score. Alex Killorn with a tip in front as the Lightning tie the game.
That was important last night, courtesy of Valley Sports Sun there. Dave Randorf with the call as Alex Killorn scores from Colton, but that was the only goal the Lightning could muster last night. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. By the way, he is an expert in getting you money for defective stucco work. A lot of you guys may have built a house in the past 10 years. And by the way, it should still be under warranty. And you'll probably call your builder and they'll go, oh, no, we can't do anything about it. That's when you call Chris Palermo, because this stucco issue is something that's been very prevalent in Florida. They were using a certain type of stucco for many, many years that just frankly just does not hold up. And you have ability to get remuneration here. So call Christopher Palermo at 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's recovered millions for his clients and all these different actions. So give him a call. Let him go to work for you. Just check out your house, especially on the second floor. If you see the cracks in the stucco, there's probably some water damage behind that as well that you don't even know about. So give him a call. They'll tell you everything to do. It's 221-5636. All right, so the Lightning last night, they come out slow because they take penalties back-to-back. They kill off the first one, and then Gaudreau gets a power play goal, albeit off the backside, literal backside of Andrei Vasilevsky. I think it was the third goal that really pissed me off, though. That was, it's very typical of what we've seen from the Lightning over this stretch where they've gone down behind in 6 or 7 games. Keeping in mind, this is only the first time this year that they've lost back-to-back games in regulation. but it's, Gaudreau is just standing there in front of the net. And there's nobody. Sergachev and I think it was
Maroon.
Sergachev and Maroon go to the same guy, same side. They're punching, not covering their responsibilities or the guys that they need to cover. You just leave a guy wide open in the slot right in front of the goalie. I mean,
it's not good enough.
It's happening all the time.
Every game.
Vasi makes that save 60, 70% of the time. Most goalies would probably get it 20% of the time. And it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
The odd man rushes, they've probably given up more in the last 2 weeks. They have all season.
Turnover city.
I mean, just guys, they're throwing passes.
Is Jameis
right
skating for us? Is Jameis skating for us now? It's just constant turnovers.
You had to go there,
that was for you, Jameis 101.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say something. You got we can talk about your Twitter beef later.
Yeah, we can. Let's stay on task.
Stay on task.
Yeah, it's just turnovers. It's everything. But, I think it was Engblom last night that brought this up. A lot of these good teams are struggling.
They are.
Pittsburgh's won 4 of their last 10, although one of them being an ass kicking of us. Who else did he mention?
Washington. Minnesota 3, Nashville 4.
Yeah, a lot of these good teams. These are the dog days of the NHL. It's not the beginning of the season when you're hyped. It's not the end when you're pushing to the playoffs. It's the middle. And now it's a long road trip for this team. Not trying to make excuses, but we're not the only team going through this right now.
Yeah, but it just got to be better, man. I mean, they could talk about it. We know the issues. You were expecting a lot better last night because, Cooper, he made him go through that really intense practice, is what they call it.
Wednesday,
really good practice, feeling yourself, and then you come right out of the gate with the same shit, really.
Yeah, 2 penalties.
2 penalties, and you're down again. And Vasilevsky, I don't think he's been at his sharpest lately.
Nope.
But then again, like we said when we started this segment, he ain't getting a lot of help at all.
No.
He is being left out to dry right now.
Yeah, and it's Maroon said it the other day. They're not communicating in their end. They're not playing with good chemistry, and frankly, I don't see the effort. The level of intensity. And again, you can't have that level every game. You can't have that level for an 82-game season. There's going to be lulls. This team's going through a lull right now, and I think it's the panic, but you can't just shove under the rug either. You got the deadline coming up. We don't have a lot of room to maneuver, but if I'm the Lightning, I'm in aggressive mode as aggressive as I can be.
They have to get something defensively.
Yeah.
They have to. I watched it too a lot of times.
And not necessarily a defenseman. It can be a forward that's a little bit more responsible than some of our guys are being right now.
But,
yes.
But I call out Cal Foote. I watched him a handful of times yesterday. I mean, he can't clear the puck. He can't clear the puck. I mean, I've watched it so many times. Guys are just trying to flip it out of the zone. And I've heard enough, and I've watched enough hockey, and I've heard enough of Phil Esposito talking about it. That little flip stuff doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of guys are doing that right now. And they just can't get the pucks out of the zone. And you're putting so much pressure. You got long shifts out there. They got to do something defensively right now.
Yeah. There's some issues, no doubt about it. Let's hear from Steven Stamkos last night, or John Cooper, either one. They're pretty much saying the same thing.
We'll start with Steven.
Yeah.
What was the last minute or so just to see kind of slip away from you guys?
Yeah, it was just a lack of execution. So last couple of games, it's more, a lack of effort and system that's been troublesome. I don't think that was the case tonight. It was just, 40-second stretch. We had the luck on our stick a couple times and just didn't execute. So that's going to happen through the season. That's something that we can correct. So, but the effort was better tonight. Now we just got to put it all together.
I see a very tough stretch for you guys in the last number of games. Like, what do you overall see about the team's game? What's in the process? You guys talk about so much about what's been missing in that.
Well, yeah, a tough stretch is losing 2 in a row for the first time. Is it?
Well, I'm saying,
I love that.
I love that. You guys were playing the same process you guys wanted to.
Yeah, teams go through that stuff. It's 50 whatever games into the season, and
was that Joe?
This is the first time we've lost back-to-back games, right? So,
Cooper's picking on him too.
That's pretty good. It's going to happen. Teams go through tough stretches all the time. So we're going through a little bit of a bump right now. We'll correct it. But it's process over outcome at this point. Today was a start. I mean, it's a good team over there, and they capitalized on their chances. And sometimes you got to give the other team credit too. it's just we didn't do what we wanted to do. That's a really good hockey team over there. They played really well at home, and they scored more than we did tonight.
Excellent analysis.
Just sort of the experience and the overall expectation of this team, where like you said, we're talking about a bump in the road. It's 2 losses.
Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, the expectation is very high for this team, and even when we win some games, we do realize sometimes it's not the effort that we have. So we'd rather stay consistent with that, which maybe we haven't in the past couple games. So we've talked internally, what we know what we have to do, and these are little adverse moments throughout a season. I mean, it's nothing to panic about. Lots of times throughout the course of seasons, even the seasons that we've won, things like this have happened. So it's about learning from the mistakes that you make in the games and just executing better.
Your thought on the Monahan hit?
Well, I just took the hit.
Monahan from behind.
Nothing. That's hockey. You're not going to like everything that goes on the ice. I just didn't like the hit.
I didn't see any. Go ahead.
That was
a
cross check from behind. It wasn't called.
Minute, did you like the way that you guys were kind of starting to play? Looked like you guys were getting looks. I think some shots were going wide there.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of kicked ourselves in the butt a little bit with the 2 penalties right off the hop. So we wanted to start the game better. You give them some momentum. We kill off the first one, we get another one right away. So it kills momentum we're trying to establish early in the game. I thought, Vasi made some good saves. We got out of there 1-0, and then we played a lot better. We tied it up, and I thought we had some momentum there. So it was tough. I mean, 2-1's fine. Anytime you give up one in the final seconds of a period, you always talk about that being a little bit of a momentum killer, and it was tough. But like I said, things like that happen. We just have to regroup here and just be better and dig a little harder. I mean, when it's not going your way, the tendency is to try to cheat the game a little bit, and we just can't do that. I think we have a group that understands. You play the right way, things are gonna change.
Steven Stamkos, the captain, commenting on last night's 4-1 loss to Calgary, and it's just, I think he summed it up correctly. But we'll listen to Cooper. It's only 59 seconds. He wasn't sticking around for Joe Smith's. Why are they so mean to Joe?
I don't know. I watch a lot of these, and he's kind of the only one who gets it.
He just,
unless sometimes Leo a little bit, but that's it.
It's fun. And by the way, I think it's good fun for these guys. They're very comfortable with Joe. I think that's why they give it to him so much. And the other thing is he sometimes I think Joe is like he's how can I say this politely? He struggles with the comeback. I think they torture him a little bit. That's not he's just asking a question. Just answer it, will you please? All right, here we go.
And up and not really good things in that second period. Just how tough was it to watch that last minute, or what do you think kind of went wrong in that last stretch?
Good question.
How tough is it? That's the question. It was tough. Well, one team, it was an even game for 39 minutes, and one team hurt themselves and the other team didn't. That's what happened.
You see a lot of things that you liked early on, like our second period, where you got after the penalties in the first period, you seemed like you guys were creating more in that second. Yeah,
but it's not all about creating. Like, we should have been content going to the room 1-1, and then trying to impose our will in a 1-1 game. Instead, we go to the room down 3-1, and now you're putting yourself in a position to have to score yourself out of the game again. So if that's not our recipe. It's not a winning recipe. So you have to defend your way to win hockey games, and they did. We didn't tonight. Well, from that last minute on.
That's it. That's the message. Every time this team goes in a lull, that's where they get. They try to. What he's basically saying is it's a 1-1 hockey game late in the second period, and we're trying to, take chances offensively to get that 1-goal lead. And when you do that, you open up your back end, and we know what happens when you open up your back end.
It doesn't turn out great.
Doesn't turn out well.
From experience, we know.
Yeah, that's just not fun. Maybe for some of you it is. It's not for me. That and what happened with Vasilevsky? He opened up his back end, and boom, 2 went right off his back end. That can't happen. And Coop is absolutely right. And it's funny. It's like this team, they're like sometimes they're like a precocious young, teenage group of kids. Is that, when they're doing the right things, they're fun. It's great. Everybody's happy. And then when you guys get a little rowdy, get a little out of control, somebody's going to get hurt. It's all fun and games till somebody gives up 2 goals late in the second period and boom, you're out of it.
But it's hard to really we know that things need to change and you can't go like this playing into playoffs. But historically, even teams that win Stanley Cups, even like these Lightning teams, they've had bad stretches. Okay. They've had very bad stretches.
It's part of the league.
Every single Stanley Cup team the Lightning have had an awful stretch at some point in the season. And usually it occurs around January, February, March.
Entirely predictable when you're on the road, your longest road trip, you know what's coming. 6 days out or 6 games out, back for 1, out for 5.
Yeah, and you're playing buttoned up team like Calgary last night. That's competing with Colorado
at home. Here comes the two-time Stanley Cup champs. You get the best from everybody every night.
Yeah, and again, you look to Saturday. They're not exactly getting a defensive domino by any chance, or goaltending either in Edmonton. But you got to deal with McDavid.
Right.
You got to deal with Draisaitl.
We saw him not long ago.
Yeah, it's not exactly the best matchup for the Lightning right now.
Right.
To have
the way they're playing defense.
Yeah, it's really not.
It could get ugly.
It could get really ugly.
Yeah.
McDavid could score 4 if he wants to.
Yeah.
So it might get worse before it gets better. They played at home for a while and that was great, but now playing on the road for 6 games, it is rough. And you come back, and like I said, you get Carolina and Boston when you come back.
So they got Edmonton. Edmonton was Saturday night, and that's 10 o'clock start. So a little late night Saturday entertainment. Then they got Vancouver 10 o'clock Sunday night. Wow.
God, they are making their way from east to west across Canada right now.
And it's cold too out there. And not only that, I guess probably Brian and Dave are doing the games from the toasty Tampa.
The toasty confines.
Although I'm sure they would love to be out on the road with the team, maybe not this time. So yeah, they've got them 2 10 o'clock games. Well, I'm going to be up late. Then they got Seattle on Wednesday, another 10 o'clocker.
God, can they just pound Seattle, please?
Yes.
Come home with some confidence.
Yeah. And then the Rangers are at home here on Saturday, March 19th. That'll be full. Oh, wow. That's 8 o'clock game right there. That's the same night as the country concert.
Country concert?
At Valspar. Is it not? I think so, yeah.
The Chris Young?
Yeah. Chris Young and Big and Rich.
Ooh, scheduling conflict for JP.
Conflict. Bastards. All right, so you'll enjoy the concert.
I'll enjoy the concert.
I will not, but that's okay because you got to work. So then we got the Rangers on that Saturday night, but a full day of enjoying golf and then back to work, and then they're back out on the road at Carolina on Tuesday.
Schedule makers didn't do them any justice here at all.
Woo. Okay, let's get it going. Hey, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best, right? All right. Real quick before we get to a break, Paul Wilson's coming up. We're going to have some fun with him. Talking about the Batman. If you haven't seen that, we'll get reviews from Nick and Paul. He's also going. We're also going to talk a little bit about film subsidies for the Sunshine State, which we used to do. We used to do lots of filming here in Florida, and then the government decided to hand out the subsidies like these other states do, and it all went away. So we need to get that back, at least in my mind. All right, some NFL news before we move on. Khalil Mack goes to the Chargers now. This becomes a very interesting division, does it not? With Joey Bosa on one side and Khalil Mack on the other to gobble up some of these great quarterbacks that they're going to be chasing.
Yeah, it's quite the reactionary move.
Wow.
You look at the quarterbacks in that division.
Would they give up us
a second-round pick this year and a 6th round next year for Khalil Mack? There are risks there. He's coming off an injury.
31 years old.
31 years old. He's 15 sacks his last 2 years.
Yeah.
And he has a $30 million cap hit.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
If you have the money, though, I think he's going to have a big year.
It's worth it because the Chargers are on a rookie deal with Justin Herbert. They came into this offseason with close to $70 million in cap space. Yep. And in 2 days, they gave Mike Williams a bag, and they just gave Khalil Mack, or they acquired Khalil Mack. free agency hasn't even started yet, and they're not done. So, and they know they got it. They got to do something to stay competitive in that division because they were looking like maybe the worst team when the Broncos got Russell.
Well, hopefully those guys, that whole division will beat itself up. And then, I mean, I look at everything in terms of the Buccaneers. Like, what's our next move? Rebuild. It's just there's just no unless they can pull off a miracle and get Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to be rather irrelevant this year. I hate to say it.
It really is.
And the grand jury is going to come in today on Deshaun Watson. I heard a report that he's going to basically take the fifth.
Yes.
But the evidence will be presented to the grand jury as to the criminal complaints. And if the criminal complaints don't hold up, then there's no indictment and he walks, it's a game changer. I mean, at that point, you're just worried about the PR hit, certainly. But again, the PR hit should depend on the facts of the case, not what's been reported. The facts of the case are what matters. And if the grand jury does not return an indictment, then they did nothing wrong.
There is no PR.
Yeah,
there should be no PR.
No, because the rest of it is look, when you have people seeking civil suits out there, anybody can sue anybody and allege anything. And when there's civil suits. So it's, again, there's a lot of, and we don't mean to diminish what these women went through and what their testimony might be. They might come back with multiple indictments today. We don't know. My point being is let's not judge until we get the facts of the case. And this will be the fact-finding part of the case.
And we have no facts.
We have no facts.
We have none.
Basically, at this point. So, we'll kind of deal with it when it comes. But I do think that there's going to be an opportunity. Now, of course, the Bucs are going to be, again, handicapped by their draft position. Because Carolina, who's also in the running, and of course he's from that area, will certainly be able to come up with a better package, better draft picks, higher draft picks, probably throw Christian McCaffrey in there too, because they're trying to trade him anyway. And I don't know if that's a plus or a minus at this point with his salary cap. A great player, but just been injured and really, really expensive. So where does this go? And I'm just, if they don't get Deshaun Watson, now I'm hearing there's a lot of chatter at one book place about your boy
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
The winner.
But I think we got to get Gradkowski on here to break it down. But he's broken him down before, and he tells us the same things, that he's more of a game manager and doesn't come up big when they need him. And this is why San Francisco, who's been with him and loved him for a long time, know more about Jimmy G than anybody in the league. They don't trust him.
Well, here's the thing.
They don't trust him.
Here's the thing.
If they don't trust him, why should I trust them?
Here's the thing, though. I would be fine if the Bucs went in with Kyle Trask and said, okay, let's see what we have. Let's go with it. I'm fine with that. But obviously, I'm not around $1. You're not around $1 much anymore because of COVID.
Nope.
So we don't even really know what the team feels about Kyle. They have to say all these things in the media about Kyle Trask, obviously, but who knows? Maybe they're not sold. And the way you just saw, the Commanders gave up all that capital and took on all that contract for Carson Wentz, who I'd say half the league is not big on. So the Bucs, they have to do their due diligence if they feel like they can compete for Jimmy Garoppolo, because he is the best available guy out there, taking everything off.
Yeah. And let's also say that, the Commanders did not have Kyle Trask on their roster.
No.
They didn't have Blaine Gabbert on their roster. So they improved their quarterback position, undoubtedly. If Wentz were to come here, would that be the same case? We don't know. Likely, yes. I was looking at Wentz's numbers this year. I'm like, wow, they're not bad. They're not bad. But again, you have to watch the tape. You got anybody in this league, I think he threw for like 210 a game. 210 yards a game.
I'll tell you
when you have a running game like that, and you just go look at the numbers.
Yeah,
dude, I can throw 30 screen passes a game and get 210 yards, especially with a running game like that. It's those moments. This is why when you look at total numbers, it's misleading. When it's 3rd and 7, okay, and you got to have a stick throw on an in, and you're running a little route combination, and he reads it wrong again, throws to the wrong guy, incomplete. Those are the moments when you have to have a great quarterback with great anticipation and pinpoint accuracy. That's the moment that guy has to step up. And teams understand that, and they see it more than anybody else. And if the team who has you for a whole year, like the Colts did, and there evidently there were issues with his leadership as well, which does not shock me.
Well, there was rumblings about that in Philly.
Exactly.
As well.
Does not shock me. So when your team that has you and invests in you that much gives up on you, Jiminy Christmas, that is not a red flag.
When Frank Reich
That is that is running it up the mast, like all the way with about that's like the Bucks in the playoffs. Red flags across the top. Everywhere.
Did you see the reports after that just came out?
Yeah.
Where the whole article The Athletic did, which was great. He asked Jim Irsay to meet and clear the air, and Jim Irsay said, "No, I don't want to meet with you," which I think is a little harsh. Don't get me wrong, but that just shows you.
Red flag.
They brought him in to manage the game with Jonathan Taylor. It worked for like 13, 14 games, and the last 3, they said, "Carson, you got to help us." Against Jacksonville in week 18.
And he couldn't.
And that was unfortunately like Jameis against, what was it, Atlanta?
Yeah.
I felt the same way.
Yes.
They were just like, okay, we can't do it.
Can't do it.
We cannot do it.
That's why, throwing numbers out there is really, really tricky. You got to look at other things. And the biggest thing you look at is how does a team that has that player look at that player? They know everything. They know what time he gets to the building. They know how he interacts with the kitchen staff. That ain't on a stat sheet. And that stuff matters in the bigger picture. Who they are. When you're talking about a quarterback, that is your leader. That is the face of your freaking franchise. And everything he does and the way he comports himself and it matters. And when those people give up on you that know you the best, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. All right, take a quick break. And when we come back, our good friend Paul Wilson, entrepreneur, actor, media mogul, will join us. We're going to do a little Batman review from both of you. And I'll decide if I'm going to spend the big money to get the big, nice, comfy chair to go see it. And we'll also talk about some other issues. I'm going to get his review on Jesse Smollett's performance yesterday in the courtroom. That was some good acting. What a disaster. Next. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our second hour is brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo and his expert team over there will get you right. We had a great interview with him yesterday. If you missed it, check it out on our website, fanstreamsports.com, or on any of our social media. And here's what a military doctor says about our response to COVID, masks, all those things. I think it would be very, very enlightening for many of you. But right now, we are going to check in with our media mogul, our media critic, all things media and film, our resident actor, Paul Wilson, joining us now. What's up, Paul? How are you, my friend?
I'm basking in the glow of why Jesse Smollett did not stay on the show, because he performed pretty good yesterday, considering.
Oh, I mean, that was. You know what? He convinced me that he really believes that he is innocent, and so I mean, in the face of a mountain of evidence, videotape, maybe the most unbelievably sealed case in the history of criminal cases, this dude still says to the world that it's innocent. Do we have the audio? All right, I'm going to play the audio for you. All right, and then you can give me a review on this performance by Jesse Smollett after he got 150 days in the Cook County Jail. Hold on.
Let me get some popcorn. Okay.
I am not suicidal. That's what I was practicing.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you, and I respect the jury, but I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that.
Oh, it won't be done to yourself.
I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay.
And he's innocent, by the way.
He's lucky he wasn't placed in contempt.
Yeah, very lucky he wasn't placed in contempt. But he's going to jail anyway for 150 days, and no, he won't do anything to himself, but he might have a few parties planned for him.
You know, one of the things that one of the skills that you're taught as an actor is to be believable.
Yeah.
And I think he's turned it around and thinks that he's to be believed, you know? I mean, again, barely, what? It's a felony probation of 2.5 years.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So, yeah, he's got to watch his P's and Q's. But he had Hollywood come out with all kinds of letters of support, Jackson and his wife.
Come on. What are they doing?
Glowing letter.
What are they doing? Like Jesse Jackson. Like we laugh about this, but you know what? If he were to be believed, right, then Chicago may have burned. If he was to be believed about this, if he had his way, and people, it was so far-fetched. He needed a better scriptwriter because it was so off the chain. No one would ever believe it except Robin Roberts and some of the complicit media that actually gave him time to sit in front of the world and tell this stupid ass story that nobody believed. And I can't believe Robin Roberts, as much as I respect her, would sit there and give this man any credibility. The most ridiculous things that he said. But if he were to be believed, Chicago would have burned. People would have died. Cops would have died over this. And that's no joking matter. That's no joking matter at all. Not to mention the fact that all the real racist actions that happened out there now, when a guy cries wolf like this, will not be given any credibility when they should. You did such a disservice to the very people you think you were helping because you're a pompous, arrogant, narcissistic ass. And still will sit there and say that he's innocent. Like, what is that?
And that might be the worst part that you just mentioned, is that it denigrates actual hateful actions. And you're right. That's a bigger problem. So I think we saw an entitled actor go down in flames. And now he'll pay $120,000, I believe, to the city for the injustice he presumed on them and cost them that.
Exactly.
All that police work and all that investigation work.
And let me just finish it up by saying this. This is what Kamala Harris tweeted. And by the way, I understand you tweeted it in the time where it was completely unbelievable anyway. You should never have given it credibility, but I get it. But still has not apologized for it one bit. And when asked about it, doesn't even apologize for what she wrote. And this is what she wrote. Jussie Smollett is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I'm praying for his quick recovery. This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear their life because of the sexuality, the color of the skin. We must confront this hate. Never apologized, never corrected it, never any of that. Shameful. And, you know.
Yeah, even Don Lemon said, dude, you lied. That's not right.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
After he supported him.
Exactly. And seriously, we knew that it was anybody with a brain would say, well, that's probably not happening the way you let. I'm sure you've seen the Dave Chappelle bit on Jussie Smollett. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah. I don't miss hardly anything of Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. And we just need to play that one time, and that's all you need to say about this. So he puts it in such perfect perspective. Yeah. But all right, let's move on to the Batman. How is the Batman?
Well, you know what DC stands for in DC Comics?
Wait a minute. I know this.
You can't Google this.
I know. Tell me. Would take
Nick,
years.
do you know?
Nick?
I do not.
You don't know?
I don't want DC.
Oh, this is perfect, boys. Now listen. After the war, Superman, and after Depression, Superman was like the first kind of, it lifted our spirits, and a superhero with superpowers.
Right.
Well, DC stands for Detective Comics. And finally, we see the detectives. That is Batman.
Oh. I did not know.
We
learned so much on this show.
It is somewhere between Seven, that David Fincher movie with Brad Pitt. It's somewhere between Seven and probably the first Christian Bale movie. Although I will say this, I loved it. And I loved it, I think, for not just personal reasons. I've never been like a nut fan for Batman like a lot of people are.
Right.
So, that notwithstanding, I think you see some incredibly interesting cinematography. They do some really great production work of what they call rewashing. They shoot it on film and they rewash it again. And they use these older lenses from the 70s to give it kind of a real gritty, grimy, dirty feel. And Gotham is as filthy as ever. And it rains all the time and it's bleak.
I love
it. There's a lot of mood there that's really fun. And then you get these great performances by Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler. And he's probably the love child of Hannibal Lecter. So you see a real dangerous psychopath. At the end, they also reveal another main bad guy in the litany in the canon of Batman. I'm just going to leave it right there.
Okay. No spoiler.
Colin Farrell is unrecognizable as
I love him
as a Cobblepot. He plays the Penguin.
The Penguin.
There's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of realism. I think that's
this is what I like about this is what I like about the Batman movies that I don't like about the other superhero movies. It's more realistic. There's more realism to it, and I like that. To me, the Batman movies are the perfect blend of realism and superhero bullshit. To me, and
you got Captain America has no superpowers. I mean, he's strong. But
he can throw that freaking shield like nobody's business. Come on, that shield is indestructible.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he okay, but he can't fly.
Right.
He can get shot. Batman has no superhero powers
right.
except maybe his brain.
Right.
So and he's. I think what's really great about Pattinson's performance, and I was not sold on this. I mean, it's like a $200 million bet that Matt Reeves did to get him. Cast.
Right.
But I think in light of the $1 billion that the Joker made, kind of out of the so-called approach to superheroes that DC has ventured into, 99 wins, including 2 Academy Awards for Joaquin Phoenix, for example, as an actor playing the Joker.
Right.
I think, I will say too, as a caveat, I've been employed by the Warner Brothers system, so this is not adulatory towards them, but at the end of the day, it was a huge risk with Joker. It took off. And now they're staring down the barrel of another $1 billion project that probably only cost maybe $20 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's good for the shareholders. No doubt about that. All right. I'm in. I'm going to go see it because I love the plot line, the detective work. It's kind of those type of movies I love. And then you add in the Batman, phenomenal. By the way, are you old enough to remember, because I know you're a little bit younger than I. So, and I was kind of on the tail end of the Batman TV show. Do you remember the Batman TV show, Adam West and all those great characters, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, all the.
I couldn't wait to get home every day from school to find it and watch it. And my son actually gave me the DVD set a couple years ago. So yeah, that's and that was kind of they didn't know what to do with Batman after that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was so campy. And I think that's where Joel Schumacher with Batman and Robin took that kind of baton of camp and really garish with costumes and colors and lighting and they just never really got it right.
Remember the tilted?
Said, we're going to go darker.
Remember the tilted camera that they would use
That's called a Dutch tilt. That's right.
Dutch tilt.
Every time you're with the bad guys,
right?
Cesar Romero, the great Joker, and Burgess Meredith, and all those bad guys. The camera would go slightly off, like "Welcome to Chaos."
How about the Catwoman? They had a couple different actresses.
Lee Merriweather.
Lee Merriweather. Yeah. There was
probably my favorite.
Was Ursula Andress? Was she one of the Catwomen? As I recall, Ursula Andress, maybe. I forget.
I did not know that. I'll have to check that.
Thank you, Johnny. Fantastic stuff. I'm all in on the Batman. I'm going to go see that this weekend. Hopefully, I talk my.
It's fun, and you'll see. I think one little pin on this. I think you're going to see it. The actor, right? The actor in Pattinson, as a wealthy kid, Bruce Wayne. He grows up with all this money with parents. He struggles. There's a great line in the movie where they kind of use the bat signal as kind of a sign of fear, like, all right, all you bad guys, look out. And then he has this line of, I can't be everywhere. So he himself plays it like he's struggling. The Batman is struggling with, am I doing the right thing? I mean, is it really, really worth it? So there's a lot of dynamic there, I think, that people will enjoy.
We need a Batman right now in this country. We need some leadership, somebody to scare some of the bad guys. It would be nice.
And he beats ass, by the way. He beats ass more than anybody. More than any other Batman. He whips ass.
Well, I love that. Kapow. A lot of kapow going on.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, they got to pull it. Commissioner Gordon's got to pull him off of a bad guy. He is just pummeling. It's pretty violent.
Can't they just bring back the campy TV show with all the stupid, like, kapows, kaplooey, boom, smack? It's just the best. Go watch the old Batmans if you haven't seen it. Really, really good stuff. And they could fit a whole movie into a half-hour episode. It was some of the greatest TV ever made, in my opinion. What else is going on out there? Any other good movies we can go see, or anything on Netflix I got to see?
I've got caught up on something that I kind of missed, that I thought was really interesting. And it's Raised by Wolves. Ridley Scott created this a couple years ago, and it's like 10 hours of this kind of science fiction setup where the earth is no longer fertile and able to have people live there and life grow there. So this entire new world is created, and it's very smart. Similarly to Westworld. That's something fun I kind of got into.
Love Westworld.
There's a lot of fun new crime stuff that's on Netflix. Catching a Killer. And there's some of that stuff is really interesting to see the milieu, especially where there's one where they go back into New York City in the 80s. Ooh. And you really get into that kind of world too. Mm-hmm. So there's so much fun coming out there. And of course we got Obi-Wan, the new mini series for Disney Plus coming on the 45th anniversary of the first release of the first Star Wars movie, known as Star Wars 4, A New Hope.
It's been that long, 45 years. So this is Obi-Wan as a youngster?
So this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, right?
Right.
Where we meet Darth Vader. I mean, Anakin Skywalker, and it's a cataclysmic fight between Obi-Wan and the lava pit.
Right.
And then the Emperor's got to build Darth Vader, and he rises for the first time. Lord Vader, rise.
Yes.
That's very like a key moment there.
Yeah.
Well, they're promising that Anakin is back in the suit,
Ooh.
and they're going to have a showdown. So that's going to be really fun to see. And they're teasing some other characters too. If you remember the great other Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn, right?
Of course, yes.
There's talk that we might see him again in this series. So this should be a lot of fun.
Is this
and I think that's why they
a series
dealt
from
with
Disney?
Boba Fett out of the way.
So this is a series from
it's-
Disney, not a feature film. Is there another Star Wars film coming out?
There are several. We're going. George Lucas himself is working on kind of a really interesting animated series that, as he has proclaimed, it is not for kids. And it's of course under the shroud of secrecy in terms of its plot and title and characters. There should be an entirely new group of characters that we see kind of the rise of the Republic and the Empire. So there's a lot of fun coming for Star Wars fans.
When do I get my Top Gun? When is that finally coming out? Does anybody know?
I think it's coming out. Here, let me look that up. I think it's coming out into May. It's been moved like 3 times.
Right.
The thing was done in 2018.
I know and I'm worried that it's not. There was all these reports like they had to change the jacket that Tom Cruise was wearing because it had a anti-China. China doesn't want the anti-China stuff in the Top Gun movie. I'm like, oh my God, really?
It's May 27th.
Well, that's
May
big
27th?
money. I mean, they May 7th, so more weekend.
Ooh. All right.
2 days before the Wilson Band concert, by the way.
That's right. So give us an update on that. Are all the tickets gone?
We're getting close. I think we're in the 800 range, which is baffling to me, even though we're a couple weeks since announcing it. The capacity, I think, is in the 1,200 range. So we're getting tight. And we've got some great support from some sponsors. Denise Antonowitz and her women's team and downtown St. Pete are presenting sponsors. So we get great support from all over. And of course, ticket sales are really flying. So, and we're getting some wonderful donations. Our auction should be a real fun event.
We're going to get you Rondé and Derek football, which I think will be a nice little piece for folks to go after, especially when Rondé goes into the Hall of Fame. We'll have 2 Hall of Famers on there.
That's right.
That'll be a good one.
That'd be lovely. And of course, auction items like that help us give scholarships to actors or musicians. And one of the first beneficiaries of our first scholarship is now in the band. And he's an extremely awesome saxophone player.
How about
Kyle
that?
Schroeder. So we'll have him. So it's always for charity. All volunteer, but we always want to raise money for various charities and then to award scholarships.
So give us the facts again, date, time, and where people get tickets, all that good stuff.
You can go to the Wilson Van. You can go to the Wilson Family Foundation. We are 501c3, the wilsonfamilyfoundation.org. Link. It's at Ennis Live, the old Janice Landing, which is probably my favorite venue.
Love that place.
Outdoor venue
Love
for
it.
sure around here. And it's so much fun. So many killer, fantastic Hall of Fame rockers who played there. So Sunday, 7 o'clock, the 29th of May, we're going to rock it.
Cannot wait, my friend. Oh, and before you go, give us an update on the legislature was supposed to do something this year to Florida legislature to bring back film subsidies and bring back big time Hollywood productions to the state of Florida that have all gone to Georgia because they're smarter than we are to give these subsidies. Getting something is better than nothing, by the way. Where are we at on that?
I think we're dead. I mean, there was a bill, Senate Bill 946, that was presented and written by a Sarasota state legislator, and I don't think they're going to get to it. It seems to have not gotten a lot of support from the other side of the aisle, and it's kind of expected because they've been kicking this can down the road for a long time, not dealing with it.
Right.
And primarily, the golden goose of Florida from a commerce standpoint is tourism. So even through all of the chaos of the last 2 years, people come to Florida. So I can see that argument. Unfortunately, we're losing too many good jobs, too many good opportunities.
Exactly.
However, the silver lining here is people like Tony Armour and Tyler over in Tampa. These leaders, these film commissioners, respectively, Tampa and Pinellas County, have done a lot with local incentives to really support. They're 4 television shows. And I'm not talking like Mickey Mouse TV shows. They're 4 little television shows that are going to be on Hallmark, Lifetime, Ion, that are being shot right now here because of the county incentive. And I think from a filmmaking standpoint, and having seen this, my first film was film.
Yeah.
It cost a lot of money back then. Now it's not as much unless you got, capes and boots. So there's a lot of local support for filmmakers to really create, I think, a better place, to craft their art, to create their product, rather than having to go to Georgia,
What
for
are those
example,
shows?
which has I think they have a $400 million film incentive.
Yeah, what's the
I mean,
show?
it's just massive.
What are those shows going on? There's the Siesta Key is still being filmed down in Sarasota, I think. They have their new. There's a couple realty shows, right, or in Tampa that they're shooting right now that are pretty popular. So about with
there's
real
a lot
estate
of those
shows. Yeah,
we have one. Vince Vaughn is down in Key West right now shooting a show for HBO.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot going on. I talked to a producer yesterday in Georgia about my Florida Cowboy story.
Yes.
First thing she said is, "Well, would you shoot in Georgia? Film incentive."
Sure.
Okay. Here we go.
Right.
And
that's a perfect example
well.
of somebody who wants to shoot in Florida and do it here. The money could stay here. The jobs would be here. We have such a great opportunity to do this. And we were for a long time, like back in the early or late 90s, was it? We were given tons of films incentives and people were making movies all over Florida. And then we took them away and it all went to Georgia.
Well, we had them, I think, until 2010.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was on the set of Cocoon in 1985 in South St. Pete.
Yes, absolutely.
And then even prior to that, Johnny Weissmuller as Tarzan was shooting at Wheaton Island through the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
And that great show, Bloodline, if you ever saw that show that was on Netflix.
What was the
Kyle Chandler and Ben Mendelsohn about a Key West sheriff and his crazy family.
Yeah.
Sam Shepard and Sissy Spacek. That actually should have gone. I think it was only 3 seasons, and they left because they closed down because the state said no more incentives.
Yeah, there's actually
so that was a casualty of it.
There was actually somebody wanted to film in Ybor City, and it was cheaper to build an Ybor City replica in Georgia. Richie P.
That's
reminded
Ben
me
Affleck.
of that. Yeah, Ben Affleck. He was like, "What are we doing here? Come on."
That's a big story that they lost that.
All right, my brother. Always fun to talk to you. I'm going to see the Batman and this weekend, and then hopefully we'll see Top Gun soon. So.
Yeah, we'll see it.
All right, brother.
Have fun.
Appreciate it.
Great weekend.
Yeah, you too. The great Paul Wilson right there. Wilson Media. All right, so let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and finish up the show. We got to get to the Colin Kaepernick story. Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Also got Kevin Weiss coming up as well.
Kevin Weiss is right from the Rays, Locked On Rays. We're going to talk with him about what the hell the move the Rays are going to make. Stay with us. PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service.
Navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our second hour presented by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Also by the Golden Diamond Source. The Golden Diamond Source is where you need to be, folks. If you're looking for something for your sweetie, and they've got so many unique collections over there. The Emily collection is that affordable gold and diamond unique jewelry that maybe for the younger folks. And then you have the Julie collection by Julie Weintraub that is absolutely gorgeous and unique, maybe for a little bit more discerning, older, more affluent folks when you want something absolutely spectacular. They got it all. If you're a guy looking for one of those baller watches, they've got brand new ones, the tags, the rollies, all the good stuff, and they've got some great lightly used ones at great prices. If you got any old jewelry that you want to get rid of and cash it in, it's broken, go through your lady's jewelry box there, the stuff she never wears anymore, and then get her something really, really sweet. And you bring it in, they give you money for it, they give you better value if you're going to buy something new with that money. So you're not nothing's coming out of your pocket and you're getting her something nice. That's a great strategy right there. It's all could be happening at the Gold and Diamond Source. Great local company. Steve and Julie Weintraub do great things in the community. Always giving away stuff for charitable events. Was that one the other day? They auctioned off a ring for over $2,000, I think it was. That charity kept all the money. It's good stuff. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, our good friend Kevin Weiss from Locked On Rays joins us now. It's time to start talking baseball, my friend. How are you?
Doing well, JP. It's about time. It's been, 100 days or so since we've had any excitement or action, really longer than that.
Yeah.
That's just how long the lockout was, and that doesn't include the fact that the Rays season ended more prematurely than we all expected. So baseball's back. It's nice. It's a nice feeling today.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, what's really cool for guys like you and a lot of the baseball folks that really follow all the different trades and prospects and all the things that are out there. I mean, this is like a compressed offseason into which would probably be about a week and a half. There's a ton of deals that are going to go down, probably some things that were in the works beforehand. It's going to be a very, as I said in the opening of the show, a crucial time for the Rays because they got some big assets that they will probably trade. And I'm talking about Austin Meadows, Tyler Glasnow, maybe Kevin Kiermaier, and they can get some really good stuff back. Where do you think all this goes?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, JP. It's going to be rapid fire. It's going to be drinking from a fire hose with not just with the Rays, but just all throughout baseball. It's going to be, man, it's like I get the impression that every minute, every 5 minutes, every half an hour, there's going to be, wow, that just happened. What is going on? Like, it's going to be insane. And I think the Rays, I would presume that they're going to be one of the busier teams, not necessarily in free agency, of course, but with the trade and the reshuffling there. Yeah. But and that's not even mentioning that. Throughout the course of the AL East, you're going to have a lot of teams, I think, within that division and throughout baseball that they're Carlos Correa, who's going to land him, who's going to land Freddie Freeman, who's going to land Chris Bryant, who's going to land Nick Castellanos. Like that is, it's going to be insane in a good way. I mean, from a baseball podcast perspective, it's great. It's just, how do we kind of break up the content each day? Because it's going to be like, man, there's so much happened in one day. We can do a whole week of shows just based on what happened there. But yeah, it's really an exciting time. And, the only thing is I sort of wish that those first two series don't come back on the board because that would have been advantageous to the Rays because they would have theoretically missed the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox and started the season with the Orioles and the Athletics. But as far as I know, I guess I don't know how this – I haven't kept up with the schedule and everything, how they're going to rework that. But if it's a full 162 and they're keeping it as it is, I'll be curious to see how that goes. But I was kind of, I don't want to say giddy in a way, but sort of excited.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if the season starts, I'm okay with missing those first two series and letting the Rays get off to a hot start to start the season.
I'm okay with baseball starting May 1st. I think April 1st is actually too early. I could do without 30 games and start at May 1st and be wonderfully happy. Don't look at me like that. Just give me the evil.
I agree with you 100%. I think that just about everybody thinks that the season is too long. Even the most insane baseball people. Like, it's when you add in spring training, you add in the playoffs, you add in it's a lot. It really is a lot.
20
and,
games. It's ridiculous.
I think May 1st are getting closer to where the kids are getting out of school and there's more of an opportunity to go to games. Like, I would almost be. I know this is probably a little bit too late, but I would almost be thinking, close to Memorial Day weekend, they do kind of a big show there. But I'd much rather see a 120, 130 game schedule and expanded playoffs, which we are going to see expanded playoffs, which is nice from my perspective as well.
Absolutely, I would agree wholeheartly with that. All right, so let's get into a little bit of what you think is going to happen. I think Austin Meadows is getting moved. I think Glasnow is getting moved. I think they can get a lot for both of them. And this is what the Rays do. They turn, that Chris Archer trade into what's going to be the second generation now of prospects and players that they're going to get. They got great production from Glasnow and Meadows in those first few years. They still have Shane Baz. Now they're going to use those assets to turn into hopefully some really good ones. What do you think the needs are for the Rays right now? I think they're looking for a first baseman who's good defensively as well. I think they're looking for a power right-handed bat and maybe another experienced starting pitcher. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the needs right there. I think the bullpen for the most part is pretty much well stacked up, all suited up, assuming that a lot of the guys that are on the 40-man but still recovering from injury, that some, if not most of those guys are able to contribute in some shape or form, a la Colin Fauché and Jeffrey Springs and Nick Anderson. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jalen Beeks of guys that, have been on the shelf for quite a bit of time. And the Rays are hopefully going to be able to deploy them at some point. But yeah, I think that's right there. Right-handed bat, somebody that can play first base a little bit, and another arm or two would be nice. Another guy can, maybe give you 100, 120, 140 innings. And I think the trade block, I would assume it starts with Kevin Kiermaier, and then you go down the list to Tyler Glasnow and maybe Austin Meadows. Now, Austin Meadows is an interesting case. I like Meadows as a hitter and as a player, but you look at the fact that the universal DH is now in play, that more or less opens up the market for him and the Rays to really get maybe a little bit of a sweetheart deal with that for a team that needs a left-handed slugger that's still young, that's still cheap, and the defense, it is what it is, but he can still be serviceable out there. I don't know about serviceable, but he can stand out there in left field or right field if need be, or he can rotate to DH and kind of mix and match there. But I think Kiermaier would probably be I know it's kind of cliche to say, but it seems like I think this is the time where they're shipping off Kiermaier, maybe to a National League team that is in desperate need of center field. I know that the Phillies had been in talks, the Cubs had been in talks. There's a handful of other teams that probably would look at him as well. And you just look at it like, hey, the Rays can do sort of a timeshare with Manny Margot and Brett Phillips out there in center, and then also in a way create room for Josh Lowe and Vidal Brujan and some of the other prospects that are on the come up. And that's another thing is how the Rays are going to handle these deals, because I don't know if it's like, hey, we're just trading Kiermaier off the books and we don't really we'd love to have something in return, but this is just a money salary dump here. That's certainly a possibility, but if the Rays are you could see some, at least from the Rays perspective, true baseball trades of trading need for a need. Say there's a team that has a right-handed slugger, but that team needs a really great glove in the outfield, and they've got some money to burn. Then they can, work some sort of package out where Kevin Kiermaier is maybe attached to one of the, I don't want to say lower end prospects of the Rays, but the Rays have, one of, if not the deepest farm system in baseball. You can't play them all. So maybe you would attach one of those prospects to Kiermaier and make a trade that way. So it's not just another team getting Kiermaier for 1 year and then doing the buyout and everything like that. So I think there could be some creative workarounds here with this whole deal. If there was an order, I would think, probably Kiermaier, then Meadows, and then Glasnow after that. I really think the Rays, I'm getting the impression that, and not saying it's wrong or anything, but they are going to want a whole hell of a lot for Tyler Glasnow. It's got to be it's got to really blow him away.
Yeah, and he's a Cy Young caliber pitcher. But don't you think that, first of all, they're not going to pay him $6 million to rehab that injury, because you're doing that for the future, right? And when he comes out of that, he's going to be a free agent in 2 years or a year? And he's going to be priced out.
Yeah. He would make $6 million this season, and he'd make $6 million next season, and then he would be a free agent. So that team that gets him would be trading him for that $6 million per year. I guess if you trade him, you got to pay him $12 million.
So it's a $12 million 1 year deal for a guy coming off Tommy John, and that just doesn't sound like something the Rays would do. As it also is a ridiculous notion that they would sign Freddie Freeman. And anybody who gives any credibility to that just because they gave him an offer it's stupid. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't even be talked about. My co-host. Am I wrong?
No, JP, I'm right there with you. Like I can offer Freddie Freeman $20 right now.
Exactly.
I give him an offer technically, but
what does it mean?
It's a good one. So I agree with you there. But I'll say this about Tyler Glasnow. I think because of the type of caliber pitcher he is, and the way that the Rays they've sort of blown my mind in a way with giving Wander Franco that extension, and then signing Brooks Raley to a 2-year, $10 million deal plus an option, and then with theoretically, you trade Kiermaier, you get that money off the books. You trade Meadows, you trade some others, you get some money off the books. Then that would allow them to handle the Glasnow salary. And also, let's remember the Rays gave how much money to Chris Archer this past year? I mean,
ridiculous.
$6.5 million.
Yeah.
So if they're willing to give him that amount coming off of the season or seasons that he had, I think they'd have no problem at all paying Glasnow $12 million for 1 year production, or maybe 1 year, and maybe he's able to come in at the tail end of this year and provide a little something. But I think that they could. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the Rays pay him $12 million for 1 year.
Well, I think the obviously the unknown there is what do you get back, and I think, like you said, it's going to be significant, and I don't think they're going to see that and go, and man, we don't have to pay him $12 million, and it's unknown whether you know how they work.
It would have to be. I mean, I think it would have to be an elite level, very elite level pitching prospect,
and it should be. And I think if they get offered that, I think they're going to take it. To be quite honest. All right, just last question for you. This outlawing the shift. Do you have any idea how this is going to work and how they're going to enforce it? It just seems stupid to me, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, and I don't. I honestly have not read the language on how they're going to go about it, but I'm more of the opinion that you have the lines, you have the dimensions of the field in the ballpark, you have a pitcher, and you have 8 defenders. You should be able to put those 8 defenders wherever
the hell
you want
right?
Within the lines of play, just like with football. If you want to run man-to-man, you want to do zone, you want to blitz, you want to do 3-4, 4-3, you want to do cover 2, you want to do cover 4. Whatever you want to do, because I think that's what makes the game interesting and fun, is the fact that, wow, look at this team putting 4 outfielders here. Look at this team leaving the entire left side of the infield uncovered. I kind of like that, honestly.
I do too. I came up with this radical idea, stupid idea, I know, but you want to get the ball in play. If you go over 10 strikeouts on your team, if your team strikes out 10 times, you get a run deducted. How about that? Force contact in the game. It's crazy, I know. There's something there to force contact in the game again. You can't strike out as much as you do. It's horrible game. Get the analytics. Imagine just the play. If you're sitting at 9 strikeouts and it's a 3-3 game, that dude's getting that ball in play. Ain't no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, he's laying down a bunt if he has to.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's actually I like innovation. I think that's an innovative idea. I probably have to think about it and look at it more, but I think that'd be a really cool thing. And I think the other problem too is just there's sort of this mentality of you're either walking, you're either hitting a home run, or you're striking out.
Right.
That's your 3 true outcomes. But also until the hitters are able to catch up, and I mean, with these pitching labs and these off-season programs of these pitchers and the nasty stuff that they're throwing, the pitchers are just so far ahead of the hitters right now. So yes, it's partly a philosophical 3 true outcomes thing, but also the pitchers are really better than ever. I mean, if you're throwing 96, we look at you like, oh, well, why aren't you throwing 98?
I don't care. I don't care what you say. Rod Carew's not striking out 200 times against these pitchers. I don't care how good they are. It's a different way of hitting.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, all right, brother. Always good.
I think it's a combination of things. But
yes, absolutely. Great stuff as always, Kevin. We look forward to chatting with you as the season goes on. We finally got baseball back. Thanks, partner.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anytime.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the show today. Sorry about the fire alarm interruption early in the show. Unavoidable. We appreciate y'all sticking in there for that. It was a great show again, though. Go back and check it out on our app. We're always on YouTube. We are on Twitter, of course, Facebook, and, of course, don't forget our website, fanstreamsports.com, where you can get all of our content. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Bolts, and I can't wait to see what the Rays do. We'll chat on Monday.